wherein you can hear me now, right? Yes. Okay. So hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on where you are. My name is Aswathi, and my co-presenter and dear friend Nina is also here. So I will start off this session, and you will hear from Nina on the second part of this presentation. We are the co-founders of Agape, a peer-led open science community created by early career researchers for early career researchers. And today we want to take you on a short journey on how Agape started, where it is grown, and what we have learned along the way. So let's get started. Now, when it comes to this, we didn't start this with much clue or any kind of like a big plan, or we didn't have any kind of big grants or strategic networking collaborations, nothing like that. We were like back in 2022, it started with a few overworked, clueless PhD students, an empathetic mentor, a global pandemic, and a shared feeling that open science should be more doable, human, and honestly a little bit fun, or maybe a little bit more, like way more fun. So, and we all started our journey. It was anything but straightforward. We all started from different stages of PhD, from different fields like psychology, bioinformatics, linguistics, and so on. Throughout our journey, we had at some time we had like 10 to 11 collaborators, and currently we have mainly it is like 4 or 5 of us as co-founders. Then at the time when we first met, it was like back in 2022. Many of us were in new countries or starting the PhD course with no real access to campus or academic communities. We were isolated, but we still searching for a collaborative and supportive space. And around that time, we all received an invite to an intense, very hands-on course called Opening Your Research to a Collaborative Future by Opening Doors Initiative. And it is a course grounded in open science, collaborative working, and challenge-based learning. It was led by Dr. Dennis McGrath, who later turned out to be our uh, supportive mentor. And this is where I met rest of the future Agape co-founders and collaborators. Then, so that course actually focused on career planning, industry collaboration, and open research. And it was a very intense course that ran almost 1 month. And during that, we had like several policy discussions, reflection sections, writing sections, and group assignments. So in a way, we were all constantly working together on one topic or another topic, and we all kind of like clicked quickly, and we realized two things. Those who have started working together during this course, we all realized two things. That is, we all work really well together. We have like a similar kind of working style and love to collaborate more with each other, and that open science, while exciting, often felt like a confusing maze of policies, platforms, and expectations we were somehow just supposed to know. So for our final coursework, we proposed something that we wished we had, like when we started our PhD, a beginner-friendly modular open science MOOC for early career researchers, and something rooted not on some vague ideas or expectations, but rather based on a real research workflows with field-specific examples, activities, and resources. So by the end of the course, we submitted this proposal, and we all successfully completed this course. But a few of us, we decided that instead of going our separate ways, that it was very fun working together. So let's continue this journey and actually build what we proposed. And uh, like we just had this vague idea of what we wanted, and we didn't have any kind of funding or any kind of formal backing. but we had a momentum, a shared purpose, and a fantastic mentor in Dr. Denise, who kept us going. And that's how the Agape was born. And the name Agape means wide open in Greek, a nod both to open science values and the kind of inclusive, accessible, beginner-friendly learning space that we wished we had. And we, our first, as we proposed that, beginner-friendly modular learning resource. That's how we decided to go with a MOOC formatted learning resource. And even though it is called massive open line course, we took the MOOC format. We don't call our uh, Agape course a massive because it's a very short course for the beginners to get a understanding in a friendly, non-intimidating way. So you can once you go to our material, to our Agape website, you can see who all were working on this. And when we started this work, we designed it with an open practices in mind. And the course we started it roughly around March or April of 2022. And the course underwent a long and extensive collaborative development. We all were from different backgrounds and different area of expertise. So we all creators have, authored or co-authored at least one chapter. And they were also invited to comment on the chapters that authored by other creators, as well as on the final edited version. And once we had our first beta version of the MOOC, we sent the link of this beta version to our peers, librarians, and our collaborators for their feedback as a kind of like a beta testing in a way. And based on their feedback, we fixed a few bugs and errors, and then we added a few more activities and resources. And the MOOC was finally officially launched in May 2023. And this, as you can see here, this is the first page of our MOOC, and it is fully open source on GitHub with clear contribution guidelines, regular updates, interactive elements like quizzes, activities, and even a certificate at the end. This is the overall structure of our MOOC. That is one pre-course survey to evaluate what's your current understanding about open science. Then there are 9 chapters. Then you can also report bugs if you found anything, or if you want to request new features or new topics, you can do that as well. Then we have a final quiz, and if you complete the quiz successfully, you will get a certificate. And then, of course, we have a post-course evaluation survey as well. And you can clearly see here, like my co-presenter Nina has successfully completed the course. Yeah, so if you complete that final quiz, you will get some certificate of appreciation like this. Yeah, it's just a nice little reward. It has, no actual value per se, but yeah, it's just a like a little bit nice reward after all the hard work. Then now let me give you a bit of how this is structured, the MOOC itself. So as you can see here, we split it into 9 chapters based on 9 topics that we believe that are the really important for early PhD students and early career researchers. And we have a fairly average sized chapters. And then at the end of the chapter, we have an infographic summarizing what was discussed in the chapter. And then there is a quiz to test your knowledge about that. Each chapter follows the same format. So at the end of each chapter, you will get a small short quiz on the topic that was covered in that chapter. Then this is my favorite part of the MOOC, that is the activities. So once you understand the theory of it, evaluate your knowledge about it, then how you use it in your own research. So that's why we came up with a few real life examples and activities and how what you learned can be implemented in your own research rather than just keeping it as a theory that you understood. And since we all creators were from different backgrounds, we believe we were able to make it as diverse as we can, like rather than focusing on one or other domain or fields, we tried to address as many fields, like, the resources and activities specific to different various fields. And then we have finally we have a discussion and feedback forum also where you can give your feedback or start a discussion about the topic. Then we try to make it accessible as well in terms of you can excuse me. So you can access it online, or you can also download the materials and read it at your convenience. Then you can change the font size, type, and even themes to make it more readable for you. Then finally, the template for this MOOC is available on our GitHub. So let's say one of you want to develop your own MOOC on any topic that you want, and you have very basic understanding of technology, of how to develop a MOOC from the ground, then you can use our template. And if as long as you have your content ready, you can use our template and we have a very detailed how-to guide. You just have to get the template, follow the how-to guide, and build your own MOOC. So you can do it in a couple of days, I would say. And then you have also, there are links available in the how-to guide to reach out to us if you have any questions. Then we designed it for PhD students like us. And this MOOC, however, to our surprise, it is now being used by teaching staff, librarians, and data professionals as well. So it kind of gave us a insight into and highlighted like the significant and the need for a clear, accessible open science resource and collaboration. And seeing how we enjoyed this collaborative activity and the development of the MOOC itself. And also the recognition, the acceptability that we have received for our materials, few of us decided to stay, continue in this journey, and we were exploring how to take it to a next step. And that's where we thought of building a community around the open science to provide a collaborative, inclusive, accessible, and fun learning space. So and to our delight, around the same time, our work was recognized by Enlight Network. So that added more fuel to our interest and passion. And again, we reached another milestone where we had no clue how to take it ahead because none of us had any experience building a community or a team. And now my now Nina will take from here and describe the rest of the journey. Nina.
Thank you very much, Aswathi. Next, please. So encouraged by this award, we joined this 16-week-long mentoring program that was very intense as well. And we collaborated, underwent different tasks. Next, please. And our aim was to create a community of contributors and community of practice. We had an opportunity to talk to different experts, and it helped us to realize what to try, what not to try, how the purpose of the community can develop over time. Next, please. And also to formalize our vision and our mission statement, as well as to write our code of conduct and contributor guidelines. Next, please. And at the end of this, we build an open science community for everyone. And under Agape, we aim to share open science with fellow students and researchers and create a safe space where we can learn, exchange our opinions and experiences, and together contribute to a better, more open future of science. Next, please. We felt like we wanted to give back to community Therefore, we volunteered and served in a capacity of reviewers, facilitators, and mentors in other open life science cohorts and programs. Next, please. Working with open life science also made us realize that the realm of open science is truly collaborative, and individual Agape members have contributed to many other projects and efforts of various initiatives since. To mention a few, next please. We contributed in different roles. One back, please. Thank you. We contributed in different roles to the Turing Way Handbook to Reproducible, Ethical, and Collaborative Data Science, co-created educational resources and accessible feedback in research under Ford. You can hear their presentation. I think it's the third from the last, on the last day of this conference. Under the Tenzing project, we contributed to localization of contributor roles, taxonomy to scientific outputs, which is now localized in more than 25 languages. Working for NASA, we served as executive secretaries on their panels of transfer to open science calls and mentor their cohorts that were trained in Open Science 101. And we have been ambassadors for systematic peer reviews of preprint with pre-review, co-created social psychology open educational resource, and so on and so on. Next, please. One more collaboration we need to mention is this exemplary-led and really inspirational collaboration by Dr. Malgorzata Lagish. And you can hear from her, I think she has the first lightning talk tomorrow about slaying dragons, so I strongly recommend it. And the outputs of this are usually scientific papers. And since then, we have been working with this team on many other collaborations. Next, please. And then we got noticed by North, which is, next please, National Open Research Forum. So we were mostly based in Ireland, and this is the Irish Initiative for Open Science. And they had this really beautiful event, festival in November 2023, where we had an opportunity to present about our work, but also to pilot a peer-reviewed detective game at the Royal Irish Academy. Next, please. Which was inspired by the inaugural lecture of Professor Dorothy Bishop. And in this game, in the role of science sleuths, participants reveal fraudulent papers and journals which are breaching the ethics and scientific integrity norms. And we realized everyone loves to play, and it's fun to learn this way. So we strongly recommend you explore also these resources, which you can find linked on our website. Next, please. Thanks to North, we got also some funding to pilot our workshops. Next, please. So these workshops, we practiced or introduced students to basics of open science, mostly open access and open data, which are relevant for them. And it was a blend of in-person workshops as a mix of frontal and interactive activities with microgroup facilitation. Next, please. These workshops were well received, achieving their objectives of introducing participants to open science, resources and support with these practices available at the local university, and a community of practice which everyone can join, aka us. And we will skip this slide because the sake of time. And I would just like to say this concludes our talk on how we build Agape as a grassroots open science community for early career researchers, but generally for anyone. And we hope that you found some inspiration for building your own version. Next, please. And I would like to, of course, thank my collaborator Aswathi and Dr. Kiran Purcell, who has just became dead very recently. So I think he's just trying to catch up on sleep. And our co-founders, Yao and Cassandra, who are our social media gurus. And without them, this wouldn't be possible. Our mentors, Denise McGrath and Open Life Science, and for funding and awards, Enlight and North. Thank you very much. And the last slide, you can scan this and it will provide you with links where you can find our MOOC or our website where all the resources and anything we worked on is linked. Thank you very much.
You had me for a minute there about your research collaborator. I was like, wait, do they mean literally dead? I'm so confused. Cool. This is very cool. And you guys got to do OLS. OLS helped with last year's conference. So it's cool to see that synergy across our different projects. I guess my question is, to kind of warm us up for questions, is, this is mostly for early career researchers, which I feel like I'm old enough now that I'm not anymore. But do you suspect that this sort of thing might be needed for us older folks who are sort of resistant to change when it comes to the like open science idea and community? Because what I see is a lot of folks who are sort of like, well, I don't want to relearn all the stuff that I did before. Can you see that as an extension of what you're doing?
Wanna go, Aswathi?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yes. I think here when we say open early career researchers, yes, the language and the structure is modeled towards them, but at the same time, we made the topics, simple and accessible, and it is connected to your day-to-day research activity that happens on the field or in your lab. So even if you are like just somebody who just wants to see what open science is, or get a bit of a taste of it, you can just see those activities and see, oh, this is something that I do in my lab. So, I can do this. It's not like I have to take a big detour from what I'm currently doing. It's just that you are maybe formatting your result in a different way or publishing it in a different it's just that maybe you are just publishing the preprint early rather than waiting for your manuscript. So it can be any small changes. Like I'm from behavior science background, so I know we have to build it as like a habit, I would say. So small things you can start from here or there, then slowly you can integrate it to your work rather than a big change. People will be resistant, even whether it is early career researchers or senior level. Nobody likes change for most part. So if you're asking them to change their research workflow, you will meet resistance. So but instead it is a bit easier, I think, if you are making small changes here and there. Nina, if you would like to add something else.
I think that perfectly answers it.
And not to speak for Drew, but maybe the monitoring of the MOOC is just like for content updates or like, kind of as things change, updating. Maybe that's kind of what we're going for in this question. So how much you monitor the MOOC for future updates?
Thank you very much. Yes, so we have bug reports and other reports. So it's not monitored daily, to be honest. We check the inbox a few times a month, so it's not immediate. But of course, links stop working, so we need to update them, change them. From time to time, we add a few other resources that we come across. So in that way, it's being monitored and updated. And there is also a plan, like we review it about once a year and see if we really want to remove or add any substantial parts of the course. So in this, yes, sorry, I wasn't sure what we mean by monitoring. So for example, we monitor the number of visitors, but because of the GDPR, the legislation in the EU, we are not able to monitor individual people who attend the course or anything similar. So we are not able to save this data.
Yeah, I should just clarify, I suppose. I sort of meant it more from a policy perspective of how they use monitoring. Like, are you taking any sort of like notes or getting sort of data on like what ECRs are coming to the course, like wanting to know or like asking like how confident are you with this skill, and then following up with them afterwards and saying, okay, did you get out of the MOOC what you wanted? What else would you like to get out of it? Or has your confidence or ability in these areas that we monitored before, has that changed? Do you have any plans or doing anything kind of like that to see what the impact is?
Perfect, thank you. So yes, there is a pre-MOOC survey and post-MOOC survey, but it's purely voluntary. So if someone wants to provide us with this information, of course, we monitor it and try to implement any changes based on the feedback. But if someone decides not to fill this in, we can't force them. Thank you. And I think it's with all the activities we work on. You are not able to tailor everything to everyone. So that's why we try to provide information or resources in different forms. There are people who are more visual learners, someone who just like to take in small snippets of information. And I think our background. So as Aswathi mentioned, she's from behavioral science. We have someone else from psychology, linguistic. I'm purebred quantitative scientist. So we are trying to tailor it to all different audiences. It's not always easy, but we are trying to learn. And when someone tells us what they would appreciate or welcome, we always try to do our best to accommodate for these needs.
Yeah, and just to add there, if anyone of you here, would like to review our materials, and there is a feedback form where you can, you can say that, this is the topic that we want to see, or this is the feature we would like to see in the future. So this is a voluntary work. We try to do it over our free time on the weekend. So yeah, the changes are not quick, but we always try to add them somewhere in the 6 to 8 months in the future.
Wonderful. Well, I have to run to the next session, so thank you very much. I'm gonna hit stop before